Chapter 91. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tsunade looked at it and found that in addition to some popular ninjutsu, there were also Konoha's ninjutsu, and some ninjutsu Tsunade had never seen before. After all, she was not Orochimaru, who knew so many ninjutsu, and some ninjutsu were developed by Naruto, the ninjutsu, and it was all-encompassing and dazzling. There were even sealing techniques for sale, but there was a grade system. Only when the grade was reached could better ninjutsu be exchanged. Tsunade's grade was already very high, and basically all A-level ninjutsu could be exchanged. Tsunade looked at it for a while and felt a little boring, and then clicked the S-level letter on the side of the screen. There were only two S-level ninjutsu. One was a ninjutsu called Wind-style Raisin Shuriken. Although she had never seen it before, Tsunade felt that it seemed a little familiar. The other S-level ninjutsu was a ninjutsu called Indestructible Golden Body, Chakra version. What made Tsunade a little curious was why it was specially marked as Chakra version. Could there be another version? In fact, after the development of martial arts, the Indestructible Golden Body had been split into two versions. One is the Immortal Body of martial arts, and the other is the original Immortal Body deduced by Naruto based on Chakra, which can give ninjas powerful strength and physical strength. Similar to the thunder style of Kumogakure, it cannot condense the power of blood and chi. Strangely, there are some strange ninjutsu in it, such as the earth style of turning the earth style of planting rice, and the wind style of fan. It feels like a ninjutsu for children to play with, and it says that many people have redeemed it, and it is a popular ninjutsu. Can you show it to Shizune? Tsunade asked. After all, it has been stated that those who are not at a high enough level cannot see some key information. Bai nodded. After all, they are from the same school. Although Shizune's level is one level lower than Tsunade's, it is only because Shizune's current points are not that many. With Shizune's medical ability, it is easy for her to be promoted. As for Tsunade, because she concealed her identity before, her level was delayed for a year before she could be promoted again. When it comes to the orange level, it is already the same level as Shisui and others. At this level, only Shisui, Uchiha-yu, Uchiha Izumi and Zabuza have reached it. Others have not reached this level yet, or their contributions are not enough. This level can basically only be reached by the Kage, or have super high talents in other aspects. Zabuza also. It was only possible because of the elders, and the same was true for Uchiha-yu. Seeing Bai nodded, Shizune took it curiously. Tsunade didn't look at it in front of Shizune just now, but changed her angle. Shizune also saw the dazzling array of ninjutsu, and couldn't help but be amazed. As a civilian, she understood better than Tsunade how difficult it was for civilian ninjas to obtain ninjutsu, even though she had been with Tsunade since she was very young. After graduating from the ninja school, students can only learn a little from the guiding ninja, and then they have to continue to accumulate merits to exchange for ninjutsu. The exchanged ninjutsu is not the best kind, and most of them are collected, but on this small tablet, there are so many ninjutsu, even she can exchange for several A-level ninjutsu. With her authority, she can only exchange for A-level ones. Tsunade-sama. This ninjutsu is so powerful. Shizune suddenly said, and pointed to an A-level ninjutsu above, Wind Control Technique. Tsunade heard Shizune's exclamation and looked over quickly. Shizune had already clicked on the introduction of Wind Control Technique. It can actually fly. Tsunade also exclaimed. She didn't look at the ninjutsu too seriously just now. After all, she couldn't click on every one of them. It actually costs 50,000 points. Tsunade took a look. Although this wind control technique is A-level, it is the most expensive among similar A-level ninjutsu. The importance of being able to fly in the ninja world can be imagined. The rarity is no less than that of space-based ninjutsu. The only person who can fly now is the third Tsuchika Janoki. Interesting. Tsunade clicked on the exchange, and a prompt box popped up, asking whether to exchange or not, and at the same time, Tsunade also exchanged for the martial arts training system. Tsunade already had the first 3 stages of the martial arts training system, and only needed to exchange the remaining 2, which added up to a total of 65,000 points. The points bottomed out instantly. However, Tsunade felt an inexplicable sense of pleasure. but it was a pity that the points were too few, and ninjutsu was not very attractive to her, but this tablet made Tsunade quite curious. By the way, now that the exchange items have been exchanged, what if some people don't want to exchange them and go to the exchanger to learn? Wouldn't that be a loophole for others to take advantage of? Tsunade said strangely. The organization clearly stipulates that you can only practice what you exchange. If the organization finds out, there will naturally be a punishment system, and even the positions of your family members in the organization will be affected. Even if some people are alone, there are always things they care about. They will not lose the big picture for the small. By explain that the high-level members who join the organization actually have to screen their understanding of the red thought, which is equivalent to brainwashing. Bai did not say it. In fact, Bai is not very clear. After all, she has also been brainwashed by Naruto. Tsunade heard Bai's explanation and couldn't help but sigh for a while. The thinking is really perfect. Through all these, Tsunade has understood that the umbrella organization is very ambitious. Even the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce that is popular in the ninja world is the industry of umbrella, and Kirigakure is complacent because it has taken advantage of it. Umbrella recruits talents in the ninja world and spreads across various countries. One day, it will burst out with powerful power. Just like what is introduced in the Book of Red Thought, a spark can start a prairie fire. The fire of umbrella will sooner or later burn the entire ninja world. In the ninja world, there is a man with a rather unfriendly face, holding a head in his hand. If Naruto were here, he would find that this man is Kakuzu. He is very upset at the moment, because he finds that it is getting harder and harder to make money in recent years. The number of rebel ninjas has decreased a lot for some reason. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that some rebel ninjas killed innocent people indiscriminately, Naruto would not look down on this kind of people at all, and Kakuzu might not even be able to kill the rebel ninjas. Damn it, how come there are so few rebel ninjas in the past 2 years? Is there someone hunting rebel ninjas like me? Damn it, how dare you snatch my money? Kakuzu cursed as he walked into a toilet. It looked like a toilet, but it was actually an underground money exchange. The money exchange was a mysterious force that had existed for a very long time. When he came underground, the noise in the underground money exchange, which was originally noisy, suddenly became a little quieter, because Kakuzu was a frequent visitor to the money exchange. His strength was obvious to all, and his reputation of valuing money as his life had already spread. I want to exchange for the bounty. Kakuzu threw the head on the counter, and the counterman said with a smile, "Why has Lord Kakuzu come less frequently recently? Did he make a fortune?" Kakuzu showed a strong murderous intent, but suddenly he restrained himself. Kenjinsho is very powerful, and has existed for at least 100 years, and there are strong people behind it. He is also his financial sponsor, so Kakuzu couldn't be presumptuous. Suddenly, Kakuzu's eyes lit up, and he asked softly, "I want to know the reason why the number of rebellious ninjas has decreased recently." "Here, 10 million, the man at the counter rubbed his fingers. 10 million. Why don't you go and grab it?" Chapter 92. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing such an outrageous number of 10 million, Kakuzu resisted the urge to take action and turned around to leave. But when he walked out, he came back with a dark face. Although his face was covered by a mask, it was obvious from his eyes that he was very unhappy. "Damn it, don't let me know who it is." Kakuzu didn't want to spend this money in vain, but the number of remaining rebel ninjas has decreased dramatically, and he is still making money. He has to find the guy who is stealing his business, and he will definitely be able to find a lot of money. In Kakuzu's heart, he has already regarded the money of the guy who is stealing his business as his own. He doesn't know how Shursui would feel if he knew it. Kakuzu directly threw out a scroll and said in a cold voice, "This is 10 million, tell me the news quickly." The person at the counter took it with a smile and said, "Please wait, let us verify it." Soon, a man came from behind and took away Kakuzu's scroll. Kakuzu seemed a little impatient and shouted, "Hurry up. Don't be impatient, Lord Kakuzu. This is a matter of money after all. We have to respect it, don't we?" The person at the counter obviously knew Kakuzu's temper very well, and he calmed Kakuzu down with just a few words. Kakuzu thought about it and realized that it was indeed the case. Money needs to be respected. Well, let's wait a little longer. After a while, the person behind him came out with a smile. The amount is correct, Lord Kakuzu, this is the information you need. The man handed Kakuzu a scroll, and Kakuzu took it and walked out directly. He was not worried that the gold exchange would provide false information. In this regard, the gold exchange was still credible, and the reason why he accepted the 10 million was because the importance of the information from the gold exchange was linked to money. The more precious the information, the more money was needed. Information worth 10 million, it's not simple to think about it. Kakuzu has lived for hundreds of years, and his mind is still clear. Kakuzu came to a deserted place and did not look at the information first. Instead, he took out the bounty he had exchanged before. After each mission, Kakuzu would count the money himself, and he never got tired of it. In this world, is there anything more interesting than counting money? The important thing, if there is one, is that he counted the money until his hands cramped. After counting the money, Kakuzu carefully put the money back into the scroll, and then took out the information. At first, Kakuzu's expression did not change when he looked at the content above. As he read more and more, Kakuzu's expression began to become solemn. After reading it, Kakuzu was still in a daze. After a while, Kakuzu slowly came back to his senses. The scroll clearly stated that the reason why the number of rebellious ninjas began to decrease was because an organization called Umbrella recruited them. The Umbrella organization began to emerge more than a year ago. The specific time of its establishment and its members are unknown. Secretly recruiting a large number of people, even most of the ordinary people civilians. There is a tendency to spread the ninja world. The levels of Umbrella members are divided into red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and purple. Most civilians are around purple and indigo levels. Purple can be ignored, and those with a skill are mostly indigo. The members of the Umbrella organization are all over the world, most of them are civilians. These corners don't care, and even have a little disdain. Just a group of ordinary people. Keep reading. The Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce is ostensibly an industry of the water country, but in fact it is most likely an industry of Umbrella. The core members of Umbrella are unknown, and the strong are unknown. The base exists in the Earth Wave country, the possibility of other bases is not ruled out. This information is quite detailed, but between the lines, it can still be seen that it is difficult for Umbrella to infiltrate. The strength of the gold exchange is still very powerful, and it even knows the former headquarters of the Umbrella organization. Kankinso is not like other big countries. He is active in the ninja world and makes profits by charging handling fees and selling intelligence. Therefore, he is very sensitive to what happens in the ninja world. Some actions of Umbrella have not been noticed by other ninja villages, but Kankinso's intelligence organization has been keeping an eye on its existence. Even traces of the Umbrella organization's activities in the Land of Waves were investigated. This may also be the reason why Shisui and Naruto changed their base. The Land of Waves is too small. To put it bluntly, it is just a larger island. The Land of Waves has changed because Umbrella has become increasingly wealthy. If someone is interested in investigating, they will definitely find clues. Kakuzu slowly closed the scroll. When did such an existence appear in the ninja world? Kakuzu frowned, and from what the intelligence said, this was an organization that spanned the ninja world, and even the specific strong men were not exposed. From Kakuzu's point of view, such an organization that spanned the ninja world must be extraordinary, but he didn't know what their purpose was. Is it also a tailed beast? Kakuzu felt it necessary to report to the leader. But before that, Kakuzu wanted to investigate. After all, this organization caused him to lose 10 million. This is 3.5 Asuma. With his strength, even if he is defeated, he can retreat unscathed. Of course, this is what he thinks. What? The Wave Country base was attacked. Shisui and Zabuza have received news of the enemy invasion. Are we exposed? If we are, then so be it. Shisui frowned. The distance between the Snow Country and the Wave Country is really too far. Call Yu and Izumi and ask them to go for support. Shisui has already received the news. There are only 2 elite Jonin and a few Jonin left in Wave Country, and now they are protected by the barrier. Fortunately, Naruto had developed the means of communication before, otherwise it might be too late. Naruto has also received the news. Oh. Has Wave Country been attacked? Izumi and the others may not be able to provide support in time, so I'll go there too. Gyo-lama, lend me some chakra. Hee. Naruto appeared in the sealed space with a smile, and a powerful chakra emerged from Naruto. Get out. Don't disturb my sleep. Ha. Nine Tails, thank you. Looking at the fierce appearance of the Nine Tails, he said too much, but his actions were not slow. It was not convenient for him to leave the village, so he could only arm his shadow clone. With the Nine Tails chakra, the strength of Naruto's shadow clone was also guaranteed. Carefully slipping out of Konoha, Naruto flew directly into the sky. With a huge amount of chakra, Naruto's speed was directly pulled to the limit. Flying towards the direction of the land of waves. Kakuzu is still attacking the barrier madly. Hand over my 10 million. Fire style, had hard work, that the fierce fire continued to burn the barrier, quickly consuming the chakra of the people inside. He came to the land of waves and finally found the base, but it didn't look like a base camp, because the people inside were too bad for him. But surprisingly, there were many physical ninjas among these people, but after seeing his strength, they directly retreated into the barrier. Hold on. The Lord has sent someone to support us. Inside, Sohorotara gritted his teeth and shouted. After Shisui and others moved out of Wave Country, he became the person in charge here. He didn't expect that someone would come to his door today. According to the information, the man in front of him should be the bounty hunter Kakuzu. Chapter 93. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Taro Satsuna was also extremely anxious. He would never allow anyone to destroy the peace here. He had long been tired of the endless wars in the ninja world. It was the umbrella organization that made him see the hope of peace. Even if he had to gamble his life and everything he had, he would hold on until the reinforcements arrived. He directly used a method in martial arts to stimulate the blood and then directly squeezed the cells to transform them into chakra. He also began to practice the martial arts training method, because his ninja road had come to an end. If he wanted to become stronger, he had to start from the martial arts. But he was only in the flesh refining stage now, and was far inferior to his ninjutsu realm. Stimulating the blood and chi had much less side effects than simply squeezing the vitality of cells to transform them into chakra, but there would also be damage afterwards. But he couldn't care less now. He directly drilled out of the barrier to buy a little breathing space for the rest of the people. Oh. Are you finally not hiding anymore? Kakuzu said jokingly, then he started to act directly. He didn't dare to delay for too long. If he waited until the strong men from the Bi-Human organization arrived, it would be troublesome. One of the reasons why he could live for 100 years was because he was very cautious. Lightning escape, pseudo-darkness, with a flash of lightning, Sakatsutra directly blocked Kakuzu's attack. Kakuzu had just fought with him once before, and he clearly felt that his opponent had become stronger. Looking at his snow-white face, he immediately understood. Did he use a secret technique? Kakuzu snorted disdainfully, and began to quickly form seals with his hands. Fire style, fire tornado. Wind style, fierce wind. Combination ninjutsu, blazing tornado. Kakuzu used the combination ninjutsu directly. Although Kakuzu was powerful, he didn't have a blood limit, so his strength was probably at the bottom among the Kage-level ninjutsu. His survivability was strong. Therefore, he couldn't defeat early Harutaru for a while. Facing the powerful combination ninjutsu, early Harutaru gritted his teeth and laid down multiple water array walls, but he was still knocked out and spurted out a mouthful of blood. Early Harutaru rushed out again with a knife. Moving as fast as a ghost. His speed was good for an elite jonin, but it was still not good enough in front of Kakuzu. The Kage level was the Kage level, and the gap with the elite jonin was so huge. He accelerated and formed a seal again. The two kept fighting each other. Early Harutoru's chakra consumption was too great. It's over. Kakuzu shouted softly, releasing a powerful ninjutsu in his hand. A sense of death floated into the heart of Harutaro. I'm sorry, Master Naruto, Master Shisui. I let you down, but the imagined crisis did not come, and a voice came into his ears, Taro, you didn't let me down, I'm not too late. Master Naruto, Sakatsuki Taro's eyes lit up. Let's talk about the past later, let's solve the problem at hand first. Naruto turned around, and a wall of earth that was far superior to that of an ordinary person was erected in front of them. Kakuzu was a little surprised, he only heard a whoosh, and his ninjutsu was intercepted. Have the experts from the umbrella organization arrived? Kakuzu murmured. He had no intention of leaving. He still wanted to test the opponent's strength. Are you the top leader or leader of the umbrella organization? Kakuzu looked at Naruto and said. Naruto was covered by a cloak, his appearance had changed a little, but he was definitely a young man. Genius? But the ninja world has never lacked geniuses, the most important thing is to survive. Who are you? Naruto asked knowingly. Kakuzu raised a smile at the corner of his mouth and said coldly, I am Kakuzu. Young man, when I see you, I seem to see the scene of fighting with the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. You are a genius, but you are still far behind Hashirama Senju. Naruto couldn't help but twitch his mouth when he heard what Kakuzu said. He pretended to be shocked. Naruto's acting skills were natural now. Kakuzu thought Naruto was shocked by his words. You have fought with the first Hokage? That's awesome. Naruto then changed the subject and picked his nose and said, Are you the ninja who threw a shuriken from 800 meters away to scare away the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju? Looking at Naruto's cynical look, Kakuzu suddenly felt that he was fooled and felt that Naruto was mocking him. He scared away Hashirama Senju, it was more like Hashirama Senju scared him away. But he was also a little surprised in his heart, because what Naruto said was indeed similar to the situation at the time. He received the task of assassinating Hashirama Senju from Takigakure. That group of idiots, Hashirama Senju could not be solved by assassination at all. At that time, he was intimidated by the powerful aura of the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, and did not dare to make a move. In the end, driven by his dignity, he threw a shuriken from a distance. He was so panicked at the time that he could not remember how many meters it was. In the end, he was defeated by Hashirama Senju's wooden clone and was finally let go by Hashirama Senju. He was a little annoyed at the moment, damn kid. He quickly formed seals with his hands, and used powerful ninjutsu with boundless momentum to attack Naruto. The battle with the god of ninja world, Hashirama Senju, was something he had always been proud of, but now he was trampled by a little brat. He would make this little brat pay the price. Water style, exploding water wave. Lightning release, ground walk. Naruto looked at the ninjutsu released by Kakuzu. Kakuzu seemed to be very proficient in ninjutsu, and the coordination between ninjutsu was perfected by him. Want to use water to conduct electricity to attack me? I think you are going to miscalculate. Fire style, great fire extinguishment. Wind style, fierce wind palm. Naruto used fire style directly, the wind helped the fire, and the flames burned more vigorously. Although water restrains fire, fire can also restrain water. At the same time, wind style also restrains lightning style. Boom! The attacks of the two collided and cancelled each other out. A cloud of smoke rose, and water vapor immediately enveloped the surroundings. Kakuzu's face was ugly. It seemed that the two were tied, but in fact Naruto had the advantage, because Naruto used fire to evaporate the water. Kakuzu directly did a backflip and occupied a high position. He kept making seals with his hands, and actually formed 5 kinds of ninjutsu in one breath. Combined, a powerful momentum rose from Kakuzu's body. The powerful ninjutsu rushed towards Naruto. Naruto raised his lips and looked into the distance. Whoosh! Kakuzu's eyes widened. His ninjutsu disappeared directly, and two figures appeared beside Naruto. Izumi had already opened the Mangekyo. It was she who wiped out Kakuzu's attack just now. But it was the first time for her to wipe out such a powerful attack, and her eyes hurt a little. But now her pupil power is sufficient. Naruto had told her the disadvantages of the Mangekyo before, so she rarely used the pupil power of the Mangekyo before. Kakuzu was very shocked, far more shocked than when he saw the ninjutsu disappear just now. He recognized Uchiha Izumi's eyes, the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan. Are you a member of the Uchiha family? Aren't there only Uchiha Itachi and his brother left in the Uchiha family? Kakuzu was shocked. He didn't expect that this organization actually had a member of the Uchiha family, and even opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. The shape of Uchiha Izumi's Mangekyo was very beautiful, a circle with three small tails outside. After being shocked, Kakuzu was already thinking about how to escape. He had to tell the organization about this. With the Mangekyo plus Naruto, and another person who looked equally strong, he was definitely not a match. Chapter 94. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Quan looked at Kakuzu carefully, without a trace of emotion on her cold face, as if Kakuzu was not worth mentioning at all to her. Is he the enemy who invaded Wave Country? Izumi's slightly cold voice sounded. Well, his name is Kakuzu, and he is a very powerful bounty ninja. Naruto answered Izumi's question softly. Kakuzu's strength is not very conspicuous among the Kage-level ninjas. He has lived for hundreds of years, but he only relies on experience, chakra, and skilled ninjutsu. However, Kakuzu's survivability is still good. If he is given time, he may become stronger, because the Earth Grudge has given Kakuzu unlimited possibilities. The existence of the Earth Grudge can allow Kakuzu to achieve immortality by replenishing his heart, provided that Kakuzu does not commit suicide. Kakuzu, who has a long life, has long learned to judge the situation. Now he is obviously at a disadvantage. He may not be able to deal with the kid in front of him, not to mention the two strong men who have come. If it were an ordinary ninja, even a Kage-level ninja, Kakuzu might be able to rely on his lack of intelligence on Kakuzu. He was killed after being untied, and all Kakuzu paid was a heart. Fire style, head hard work. Wind style, wind pressure. These two ninjutsu can be said to be Kakuzu's signature ninjutsu. After using these two ninjutsu, Kakuzu immediately used the body flickering technique to escape. The people present were all masters, and as soon as Kakuzu made a move, they discovered his intention. You stays behind to take care of Taro, while Izumi and I go after him. He invaded my territory, so he can't get away so easily. Naruto gave an instruction, and disappeared together with Izumi as a phantom. When Kakuzu saw the two people catching up to him, he cursed inwardly, and then quickly formed seals with his hands. The seals Kakuzu formed were water clones, and it was obvious that he wanted to use the water clones to delay time. Two water clones appeared and blocked Naruto and Izumi. Izumi's Mangekyo spun wildly, and with a glare, Kakuzu's two water clones disappeared. Kakuzu's water clones couldn't even stop the two of them for a second. Kakuzu was extremely shocked and sped up again for a while. What kind of weird ability is this? Kakuzu's scalp tingled, and he didn't even have the mind to fight against the two. If he could do it again, Kakuzu would never come to the land of waves to make trouble. If he died, who would spend his money? There is no more painful thing in the world than this, that is, people die, but their money is not spent yet. Naruto looked at Izumi using the Mangekyo-I technique, and said with concern, Izumi, you don't need to use the Mangekyo-I technique. His water clone can only block us for 3 seconds at most. Sorry, Naruto-kun, I was too anxious, Quan replied softly. Well, it doesn't matter if the person ran away. Now I don't have the ability to deal with the side effects of the kaleidoscope, so I'll try not to use the power of the kaleidoscope if possible. Naruto looked at Izumi's beautiful face, and he knew that Izumi wanted to kill the invader. This girl cared a lot about the foundation they created together. It could be said that it was another home. The land of waves is very small, and they quickly reached the surface of the water at the speed of several people. Naruto had already consumed a lot of chakra before. After all, he flew over from the land of fire at a very fast speed. He could save a little bit, otherwise it would be bad if it dissipated. Izumi nodded slowly, and a warm current surged in his heart. Wouldn't he rather let the invader go than let her suffer from the side effects of the Mangekyo? For a moment, Izumi's speed soared again, and the aura on his body also rose again. Izumi suddenly surpassed Naruto and quickly approached Kakuzu. Feeling the momentum of Izumi, Naruto was a little speechless. Did he say something wrong? Why did Izumi use the power of another Mangekyo? Kakuzu felt the pressure from behind him, and his mind trembled for a while. Did he hide his strength, or did he use some secret method? Fire style, Great Dragon Fire Technique. A huge fire dragon flew towards Kakuzu. Damn it, in order not to be slowed down, Kakuzu directly used his strongest ninjutsu. Earth Escape Earth Spear. This Earth Spear is different from other Earth Spears. It can make the user's body extremely hardened, like evolving into a steel body. Kakuzu intends to withstand Xiaochuan's attack. The huge fire dragon submerged Kakuzu, and the blazing flames hit the water surface, instantly evaporating a large area of water mist. A smell of cooked food rose up, and it turned out that the fish in the water were steamed by the high temperature, floating on the water surface in bits and pieces, and some of those closer to the attack turned into ashes or charcoal. Water style, Water Curtain Tent. A huge torrent rushed towards Izumi. At this time, Naruto had already arrived beside the two of them. Although Naruto's original body was powerful at the moment, his shadow clone was still a little weak. In addition, Naruto's knowledge was complicated, so the improvement in strength was not very exaggerated, although it was also exaggerated in the eyes of others. In Naruto's eyes, he had the ability of God rewarding hard work. Most people who persevered in improving their abilities in one aspect would have probably reached a very high level long ago. However, Naruto was very ambitious. Although learning so many things slowed down Naruto's speed of becoming stronger, the reason why Naruto's organization could develop so fast was not only because of Shirsue's ability, but also because of Naruto's talent. Moreover, everything Naruto has learned now has turned into Naruto's potential, and one day he will be able to soar into the sky. Izumi easily avoided the attack of the water curtain, but it was obvious that Izumi did not notice the water clone that followed behind the water curtain, or the battle fighting experience. Just when the water clone's kunai was about to hit Izumi, Naruto came to Izumi's side, directly picked up Kakuzu's water clone's kunai, and directly used the kunai to cut the water clone. The water clone turned into a pool of water and disappeared on the lake. Naruto looked at Izumi. If he hadn't blocked that attack just now, Izumi would probably be slightly injured. Or he could use the power of the Mangekyo to block the attack, but that would be too much of a loss. You know, if you use the Mangekyo too much, you will go blind. During this gap, Kakuzu was not idle and attacked Izumi directly. He also saw that although Izumi's strength was good, his combat experience was still a little lacking, and he could be used as a breakthrough. The black lines transformed by the Earth's resentment emerged densely. Those with claustrophobia will definitely be scared. A Rasengan appeared in Naruto's hand and he shot it at Kakuzu. Kakuzu's eyes condensed and said, "The Rasengan of the 4th Hokage. Are you from Konoha?" As the standard equipment of the 4th Hokage, the Rasengan has long been known to the people of the ninja world. People in the 4th Hokage period basically know that the Yellow Flash can roam the battlefield with the Flying Thunder God and the Rasengan. Because the Rasengan does not require hand seals, dozens of people basically died in the hands of the 4th Hokage after the Yellow Flash. Kakuzu is in a heavy mood now. Could it be that this organization was secretly developed by Konoha for the purpose of plotting against the ninja world? The information obtained from Huanjin shows that the purpose of this organization is obviously very complicated. It is slowly encroaching on the civilians of the 5 major countries. There is such a talent in Konoha. He can come up with such a plan. It even takes decades to win over the hearts of the people. Kakuzu's many years of experience allow him to see the consequences of Umbrella's actions. But he is still too narrow-minded. Naruto's goal is not to boil a frog in warm water. Instead, in the next few years, while the Akatsuki organization comes to the fore, it will sweep the world with lightning speed, encompass the universe, and encompass the four seas. Completely end the ninja era. He will end the era that Hashirama Senju single-handedly established with his own hands. Only with great unification can peace truly come. Chapter 95. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kakuzu's heart was trembling, but at the same time, he was full of energy. This news was too important. Naruto didn't know what Kakuzu had imagined. If he knew, he would probably laugh to death. Kakuzu actually thought that the umbrella organization was Konoha's white glove. Kakuzu's momentum was released, and dense earth grievances began to fly all over the sky, which looked extremely terrifying. Even Izumi frowned when she saw it. She was also a girl. Seeing such a terrifying thing, she couldn't help but want to get rid of him completely. Lightning escape fake darkness. A mask on Kakuzu suddenly opened its mouth, and bolts of lightning immediately struck the two of them, because they were on the water, the lightning even flown along the water surface towards them. Izumi formed seals again, and the fire escape immediately turned into fast-flying small balls and hit Kakuzu. Kakuzu didn't even dodge, and launched the fake darkness again to hit the two of them. The earth escape earth spear gave him super strong defense, but there is always a limit. Now he has actually been burned by the heat of the fire escape. Naruto kept flipping on the water, and suddenly Kakuzu felt a palpitation of death coming. Naruto's hand began to gather chakra, and the visible chakra gradually formed into wind-style Raisin Shuriken. High-density wind-style energy, each strand has extremely strong penetrating power. The defense of Earth-style Earth Spear can't defend against such a terrifying attack. In just a moment, Kakuzu analyzed how terrifying Naruto's attack was. Naruto's wind-style Raisin Shuriken is considered a good ninjutsu even among S-level ninjutsu. Kakuzu's fingers moved slightly. Naruto's attack has already arrived in front of him. Powerful the wind escape technique hit Kakuzu's body, and an extremely powerful chakra wave erupted. A whirlwind exploded wildly, cutting everything around it crazily. Izumi couldn't help but feel palpitations when she saw such a terrifying attack. She was afraid that she could only use the Uchiha clan's ultimate secret technique, Susanoo, to compete with Naruto. Even the illusion that the Uchiha clan was proud of had little effect on Naruto. Not to mention that Naruto was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. If you want to immerse Naruto in an illusion, you must cast a double illusion, and only illusions of level A and above can work on Naruto. It will take effect, and Naruto will be able to break free of the A-level illusion soon. Although Naruto's mental strength grows slowly, it is still growing slowly with the help of God's reward for hard work. Kakuzu's body looks like it has been torn apart. In Izumi's eyes, Kakuzu is dead as hell. But Naruto is a little puzzled. Kakuzu has a grudge against the earth and it is difficult to kill him. He must be killed 5 times. It is impossible to destroy all 5 hearts of Kakuzu at once. Naruto was a little worried that Kakuzu was cheating. Seeing that Izumi wanted to go up to check the situation, Naruto quickly said, "Wait a minute." After waiting quietly for half a minute, there was still no movement from Kakuzu's corpse, and Naruto suddenly had an idea in his mind. He hurried forward to check and turned over the mask. It was Kakuzu, but Kakuzu suddenly turned into water. It turned out to be a water clone. Naruto frowned. Kakuzu was gone now, and he recalled the details of the battle just now. If Kakuzu had used the water clone before being hit, he would definitely have been noticed by himself, but if Kakuzu had used the water clone in the short time when he was hit, Naruto would have to admire him. Being able to endure severe pain and survive with a broken arm is not something that ordinary people can do. After Kakuzu used the golden silkworm to shed his shell, he took advantage of the chakra burst and turned into a stream of water to escape. After figuring it out, Naruto couldn't help but admire him. He is worthy of being a ninja who has lived for so long. He has rich combat thinking and experience, and acts decisively. Here, Kakuzu, who had already escaped, couldn't help but feel heartbroken. This time he lost 2 hearts. This was after he hardened his body with Earth Style, Earth Spear, otherwise Kakuzu estimated that he would have lost a heart. Kakuzu didn't dare to stop for a moment, and continued to move forward quickly, because he didn't know whether the 2 people would catch up with him. He also had to bring the news back. Kakuzu had already circled around, and after he had restored his heart, Kakuzu found a safe environment and began to contact the leader. Kakuzu told all his experiences. Nagato's incarnation, Pain, thought about it, a mysterious organization. Okay, got it, call a meeting of the members. These are Pain's original words. On Naruto's side, Quan frowned, twitched her cute nose, and said, did he run away? Well, go back, Naruto replied softly. Aren't you going to continue searching? This may lead to our complete exposure. Izumi turned to look at Naruto and said. It's okay, with our current strength, it doesn't matter even if we are exposed. Although ninjas are powerful, they are still ordinary people. The nobles who depend on us will not easily let us suffer losses. We control the largest grain export on the market. There are also many nobles who secretly control us. Even if they are exposed, the daimyo will not easily let us start a war unless it threatens the entire ninja world. Otherwise, at most he would just send a small team to attack us. And we are not afraid of the attack of the small team. If they want to fight, then come, Naruto said confidently. Quan thought about it, and followed Naruto's train of thought, as if they had become a behemoth now. Her thinking was still stuck in the past. An organization could be comparable to a big country. This is simply too crazy. In fact, in the original work, if the Akatsuki organization came out to fight in a group, I am afraid that no ninja village could resist it. In the original work, Pain destroyed the entire Konoha by himself, if it were not for the use of the reincarnation technique under Naruto's mouth. I am afraid that the entire Konoha, the overall strength will drop by several stages. If there was no Obito and the 100,000 white Zetsu behind, and Konoha was not resurrected by the reincarnation, it would probably be another end. Maybe Danzo could realize his dream of becoming a Hokage, and rely on the root organization to gain the right to speak and successfully ascend to the throne. Other ninja villages are not easy to deal with. When an external enemy is too powerful, they have to unite, because the target of the Akatsuki organization is the tailed beast, the entire ninja world. The later Naruto and Sasuke are equivalent to the previous Madara pillar, and the deterrence of the 2 is like a mushroom bomb. When the 2 were alive, the ninja world did not dare to fight too much, and Sasuke realized at that time that the ninja world must be unified if it wanted real peace. Sasuke embarked on the path that Madara had taken before, and chose to bear everything, while Naruto chose to redeem Sasuke again. The battle between the 2 also made Sasuke choose to believe in Naruto again. Maybe they are both right, or they are both wrong. The ninja world lacks the right ideological guidance. It is destined not to be what they imagined. Only a revolution of blood and fire can establish a truly immortal empire. If you want real peace, you have to solve the problem of resources and the ideological problem of the people. If they don't have the same idea, how can they coexist peacefully? The imbalance of resources will inevitably lead to class conflicts. This is why other ninja villages always want to attack Konoha. If they don't attack Konoha, will they attack your sand village? There are stone deserts everywhere. You may not even be able to earn back the supplies after a battle. Under the leadership of the third Hokage, these ninja villages have long understood the temper of the third Hokage. The high-level officials, led by the third Hokage, will not ask for compensation from the defeated ninja villages even if other ninja villages lose. They may even take the initiative to seek peace. This has been the case several times in the past. Or just a symbolic effort, it's nothing serious. Chapter 96. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Rain Country. After a few days of gathering, all the Akatsuki members who were away have returned. Everyone here is a master. If people from other hidden villages see this, it will probably cause an uproar. In a tall cyberpunk-style building, several people are slowly talking about something. What did the leader call us together for recently? I'm still studying my art. The speaker was Deidara, a ninja with outstanding talent, a disciple of the third Tsuchike Janoki. In fact, he was only in his teens. He could be said to be a genius. TSK. Eternal art is what art is. A voice came, and Scorpion said expressionlessly. Uncle Scorpion, what do you know? Explosion is the real art. Eternity is art. Scorpion still looked the same, and said coldly. Stop arguing. The leader reminded me that there is something important to say today. Just as Deidara was about to continue arguing, Kisame came out to smooth things over. Uchiha Itachi waited quietly, not knowing what he was thinking. Mr. Itachi, what are you thinking about? Kisame said with a smile, sounding very respectful to Uchiha Itachi, but his smile looked scary. Kisame's physique is very special, and he can even transform into a fishman. A man with a shark face, known as the tailless-tailed beast, has enough chakra to fight with the Uzumaki clan. Nothing, Kisame. Itachi came back to his senses, and his face showed no trace of his inner thoughts. The reason why Kisame respected Uchiha Itachi so much, in addition to Uchiha Itachi's strength, was Uchiha Itachi's act of slaughtering the entire clan. He really couldn't figure out what Uchiha Itachi's purpose was, and he couldn't guess Uchiha Itachi's thoughts at all. It's just that from their daily interactions, he could feel that he was a gentleman, which was really contradictory. Itachi didn't know what Kisame was thinking, but instead thought of Sasuke, who was far away in Konoha, and didn't know how he was doing. Sorry, Sasuke. While Itachi was still thinking in his heart, footsteps sounded, and Pain's figure appeared in front of everyone, followed by Konan. After Pain came in, he glanced at everyone, and his cold eyes and indifferent samsara eyes brought great pressure to everyone. Pain's eyes stayed on Itachi for 2 seconds, and finally turned his head and said, I guess you are all very curious why the organization called you back. Let Kakuzu explain this matter. Everyone then noticed that Kakuzu was actually following behind Pain. Kakuzu slowly walked forward and told his experience. In short, there is definitely a big problem with this umbrella organization. It is very likely that Konoha is secretly developing a force that Konoha wants to plot against the ninja world. There is definitely a big conspiracy. Kakuzu went back and thought about it for a few days, and felt more and more that something was wrong. The unknown Uchiha members, the Mangekyo, the truth about the Uchiha genocide. Uchiha Itachi. Even Kakuzu began to suspect that Uchiha Itachi was a spy planted by Konoha. Kakuzu's idea was outrageous, but he guessed by accident that Itachi was indeed an undercover agent of Konoha. As for the others, they were all Kakuzu's personal imagination. Kakuzu took a look, paused, and then said, I also saw members of the Uchiha family. And they also have the Mangekyo Sharingan. Before Kakuzu finished speaking, Itachi burst out with a powerful momentum. What did you say? Itachi was a little bit unbelievable. There is actually an Uchiha member in the ninja world, and it is a Mangekyo? Is it that mysterious masked man? Many thoughts flashed through Itachi's mind, but then he was stunned by Kakuzu's words. Uchiha Itachi is a spy planted by Konoha in our Akatsuki organization. Konoha has evil ambitions and sent members of the Uchiha clan out of Konoha to forge the story of Uchiha Itachi exterminating the clan. He himself was planted in the organization, and when the time is right, he can rise up and dominate the ninja world. Kakuzu's words stunned everyone, but they felt that there was nothing wrong with it. As expected of my big brother Kakuzu, he actually made such a thorough analysis. Haiden on the side praised him generously. Even the other members of the Akatsuki organization couldn't help but stay away from Uchiha Itachi, and even felt that what Kakuzu said made some sense. Brother Kakuzu is indeed a ninja that I recognize. My brother once fought with the god of ninja world, Hashirama Senju. He is not only powerful in combat, but also knowledgeable and has put his knowledge into practice so quickly, that while praising, Haydn took out a book from his arms. The name on the book was, My Conquest of Ninja World. This book was circulated by the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce. Since the level of cultural novels in this world is very low, Naruto specially wrote this book. It is about a ninja who pretends to be cool and gets slapped in the face in the ninja world. It became popular in the whole ninja world as soon as it was released, and successfully shared half of the novel world with Jiraiya's works. It can be said that Naruto made a lot of money, because it is not a special book, the market is wider than Jiraiya's. Everyone in the Akatsuki organization. The few people finally understood that Kakuzu's analysis was very logical and was obviously influenced by the novel. After Haydn's help, everyone also realized that Kakuzu's analysis was obviously unreliable. Everyone was familiar with this novel, and some of them even read it. It was really cool. Kakuzu, Haydn, thank you. Don't listen to Kakuzu's nonsense, you must also believe in the members of our organization. That when saying this, Pain glanced at Uchiha Itachi. Although he always felt that Uchiha Itachi was a little suspicious, he had to maintain the unity of the organization at this time. The Uchiha story should be true. Regarding what Kakuzu said, we still need to investigate it, but the umbrella organization is definitely problematic. Who are you interested in investigating it? Pain glanced at everyone, and after a circle, he did not stand up to answer. Suddenly Itachi moved his feet and said, I'll go, and prove my innocence at the same time. Itachi said this on the surface, but in fact he was more interested in the Uchiha clan member that Kakuzu mentioned. Kakuzu, I don't know if you can tell me about the characteristics of the Uchiha clan member you mentioned. Itachi's voice came faintly, but it had a meaning that could not be refused. Kakuzu stared at Faden at this time. He thought Faden was complimenting him, but he didn't expect that his words would make everyone start to doubt him. And even he himself felt that maybe he had read too many books, and his analysis was very similar to that in the book. Thinking of this, Kakuzu also knew that he was influenced by the subjective opinions in the book. Maybe he was really too arbitrary. Hearing Uchiha Itachi's words, he immediately turned his head and began to carefully recall what happened at that time in his mind. The person I fought with at the beginning was an elite jonin, and later a man in a windbreaker came. I couldn't see his features clearly as they were covered up, but he was definitely not very old. The member of the Uchiha family came later, probably to support that base. From this point of view, that base is most likely not their base, but just a branch base. That member of the Uchiha family is a girl who has the same Mangekyo Sharingan as you. Her ability is very strange. Kakuzu told everyone what he knew, and when he talked about the Mangekyo Sharingan, everyone couldn't help but feel surprised. Chapter 97. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Itachi listened to Kakuzu's narration slowly, with panic in his eyes. He opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Could it be that he was the one who slipped through the net at the beginning? Impossible, Danzo couldn't have such a serious omission. Moreover, the Mangekyo Sharingan is not so easy to open. It is possible to open the Mangekyo after experiencing the pain of the night of genocide, but who is that Uchiha clan member? Although Itachi didn't know who that person was, for some reason, he felt a little bit of joy in his heart, maybe because he was happy that there was still someone in the Uchiha family. This means that the Uchiha will bloom again one day. Well, leave this matter to me. Itachi glanced at everyone and said. Everyone else, please pay attention. Anyone who threatens the organization's target must be eliminated. Pain's cold voice came. Now Pain, relying on the power of the Samsara Eye, is a super shadow level combat force. In the eyes of everyone, he is unfathomable, otherwise it would be impossible to intimidate so many rebellious ninjas. After all, the strong are their own pride. Okay, let's stop here. Everyone walked out. In fact, they didn't want to stay here. Pain's momentum was too terrifying. In the early stage, Pain was undoubtedly the ceiling of combat power. Konoha, at this moment, Naruto's shadow clone has returned to the village, and Sasuke and others know the news. How's it going, Naruto? Is it resolved? That they looked worried. It would be inappropriate for the organization to be exposed now, otherwise their plans might be disrupted. It's okay, you don't have to worry. Even if it is exposed now, we have nothing to fear. Even if the umbrella organization is exposed, it will not affect us, and we will only stay in Konoha for a year at most. Sasuke, don't worry, Danzo will definitely be left to you when the time comes, Naruto comforted Sasuke and said. Naruto had already told Sasuke the truth about the Uchiha clan's extermination, but Sasuke seemed a little bit unacceptable. Especially about Uchiha Itachi. His brother actually slaughtered the entire clan just to protect himself. Is his brother a fool? Now Sasuke has a very positive outlook under Naruto's training. In his heart, even if Uchiha Itachi did it for him, such behavior is absolutely abnormal. So he thinks Uchiha Itachi was fooled by the Konoha high-level officials. And Danzo is the one who deserves to die the most. But it doesn't mean that Sasuke can forgive Uchiha Itachi for what he did. Are those clansmen who were killed by him really willing to die? Has he asked those clansmen? You know, many Uchiha clansmen are ordinary people, not all of them. Ninja, even some uncles and grandmothers in the tribe took good care of him. Even babies in swaddling clothes were all killed. When he learned the truth, Naruto even observed that there was a slight change in Sasuke's Sharingan, and it almost turned into a Mangekyo Sharingan. But after all, it was still a little short, and it didn't turn into a Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan is the eye that reflects the soul, so the people of the Uchiha clan are actually very emotional, and those who can open their eyes, except for a few who are gifted, most of them rely on emotional stimulation, which is why those who open the Sharingan are very arrogant and insolent. In fact, these people have suffered a lot of mental trauma, while ordinary people of Uchiha look peaceful, and they cherish emotions more. Naruto did not tell Sasuke that he actually kept if Naruto has buried the bodies of his parents, there may be a chance to resurrect his parents in the future. Even his own parents. There is no 6 paths of reincarnation in the ninja world. Even the Pure Land was created by the Sage of 6 Paths. Where did those souls go before the Pure Land was created? Maybe they dissipated. Maybe that's why the Sage of 6 Paths created the Pure Land to collect the souls of the dead. As for why he did this, Naruto didn't know, but it was obvious that the Sage of 6 Paths would not do meaningless things. It seems difficult to resurrect a person, but from the original work, Nagato used the reincarnation technique to resurrect many people in Konoha. The samsara eye can be regarded as the manifestation of Ien Dun, that is to say, if Naruto wants to interfere with the boundary between life and death, at least his attainments in Ien Dun must reach the level of the samsara eye. At least he must reach the level of the 6 paths times. The samsara eye comes more from the fruit of the sacred tree. You should know that Kagaya Otsutsuki only had the Byakugan before. After taking the fruit of the sacred tree, it became the 9 Magatama samsara eye. And other Otsutsuki clans also have samsara eyes, and they are all different. From this, we can see that the fruits of the sacred tree are different, so the samsara eye is also different, and everyone's samsara eye ability may be different. Maybe the ninja world is also a very strange place in the universe. This may also be the reason why Kagaya Otsutsuki dared to sneak attack Ishiki Otsutsuki. Nagato's samsara eye may not be his own, so he did not stimulate the exclusive ability of the samsara eye. Uchiha Madara's samsara eye ability is the heavens awake star will graveside prison. And Sasuke's is the sky hand power and the spacetime channel. And Nagato uses the basic abilities of the samsara eye. As a symbol of the power of Ien Dun, the samsara eye can only be developed to what extent it can be developed by oneself. On the Uchiha Sasuke side, after hearing what Naruto said, he resisted the urge to cry and said lightly, "Thank you Naruto." We brothers don't need to say thank you. Naruto patted Sasuke's shoulder. Sasuke looked at Naruto in front of him, and his mind was a little dazed for a while. If he hadn't met Naruto, perhaps he might have been immersed in the hatred of revenge all day long, practicing the simple and boring content of the ninja school. When he graduated, he might be at the level of a genin, hanging out with those simple guys in the ninja school all day long. It was impossible to take revenge like this. He didn't know Uchiha Itachi's strength before, but now he knows how powerful Uchiha Itachi is. He has reached the level of Kage. It is impossible for him to take revenge just by relying on the teachings of the ninja teacher after graduation. Why are you being so pretentious today? We are brothers. Naruto raised his fist towards Sasuke. And me. We are also your brothers, Sasuke, we will handle things together. Little Lee said on the side. Ningxi also stretched out his fist, the meaning is self-evident. Sasuke stared at the few people blankly, resisting the urge to cry. He also stretched out his fist. The four fists were tightly pressed together. Never abandon. Never give up. Suddenly, a few more people appeared in the distance, Hinata, and Choji, Shikamaru, Ino and others. Shikamaru looked at Naruto and others in the distance, his face looked listless, but his eyes were shining. The relationship between them is really not simple. Although Shikamaru didn't hear what they said, there was only one chief student who graduated, and another one who is the current chief student, Ali Rock, who is said to be a disciple of Might Guy, and Naruto, a guy with hidden strength, plus Naruto's special identity. Shikamaru also thought slowly. Chapter 98. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, everyone, led by Ino, gathered around Naruto. Sakura smiled and greeted Sasuke, who nodded coldly. Hinata shyly came to Naruto's side. Naruto gently touched Hinata's head, and Hinata's face instantly turned red. Naruto, I want one too. Ino pinched her waist and stared at Naruto with wide eyes. Ino, don't do this. Naruto put down his hand and said with a smile, then looked at Shikamaru and the others. Basically all the 12 little strong men are here, except Tenten. Why are you here? He asked Ino. He didn't know why, but Ino's relationship with Sakura has eased a lot now. Maybe it's because Ino has transferred some of her energy to Naruto. Since when Ino found herself attracted to Naruto, the calm, deep and mysterious feeling, as if nothing could stump him, but when she thought of Hinata, Ino's eyes dimmed. After hearing what Naruto said, she suddenly came back to her senses. It's not easy to have a holiday, we are looking for you to have a lively outdoor camping, Ino said with a smile. Choji was still eating snacks, looking unmoved. Shikamaru still looked listless, but he was complaining in his heart, you dragged us here. Choji was very interested, he never refused to eat, and Naruto's cooking skills were really good. Hinata, do you think so too? Hey. Hinata whispered like a mosquito. Who are they? Niji whispered to Sasuke. The heirs of the three major families of Ino, Shika and Cho, and there is Sakura, the heir of the Inuzuka clan. It seems that these are the people. Aburame, Shino. Have I been forgotten? Niji has been concentrating on training, so his knowledge of Ino and others is almost zero. On the contrary, Sasuke, under Naruto's deliberate cultivation of his overall view, his understanding of several people is no longer limited to classmates, not bad and other evaluations. Instead, it is the importance of the three of them to Konoha. And how much political power they can have. There is also Inuzuka Kiba, the power of the Inuzuka clan in Konoha cannot be ignored. Hinata, as well as him and Naruto, perhaps the original class division was not ordinary. Counting it all, the power behind their class is really not to be underestimated. Let's go. We've already chosen the location, Ino hurriedly called Naruto. Let's go, relax today. Naruto turned to Niji and Rock Lee and said. Rock Lee touched his head and said, okay. But they are your classmates, is that really okay? It's okay, let's go together. Naruto smiled softly. Several people quickly came to the depths of a dense forest. Naruto looked around and found that this place was well chosen. There was water flowing, birds singing occasionally, the sun shining under the tall trees, and the weather was not too hot. This was very suitable for camping in the wild. Naruto, this place is great, we have brought the seasonings, all we need is for you to hunt. Ino looked at Naruto with a cunning look. Naruto waved his hand. No way, you don't still want me to catch prey? Ino pushed Naruto and said with a smile, it's the rule that those who are capable should do more work, don't you dare let our little princess Hinata do it. Naruto glanced at Ino, she really had me under control. At this time, a voice came from behind them, I can also, help Naruto. Kuin. The two turned around and saw that Ino covered her face and said helplessly, Hinata, leave this matter to the men. Wow. You little girl, you know a lot. Naruto looked at Ino with a playful look. You are the little girl. Ino glared at Naruto fiercely, and at the same time straightened her waist, as if to show off her most perfect figure. I am not small anymore. Ino said word by word. Seeing Ino like this, Naruto looked at Ino's figure. People in the ninja world generally develop fast, and they are no different from those girls who look 16 or 17 years old in their previous lives. Although they are still immature, they have everything they should have, which makes Naruto a little embarrassed. Yes, you are not a kid anymore, can't I go? Naruto smiled bitterly, looking at Hinata who was a little unhappy next to him. Naruto, do you like Ino? I can do that too. Hinata's voice became smaller and smaller, and even Naruto could hardly hear it. Hinata, what did you say? What do you like? Naruto didn't quite hear what Hinata said. Nothing. Hinata's face suddenly turned red like a hairy crab, and steam began to come out of Hinata's head. Looking at Hinata's red face, why did Hinata start like this again? Naruto was a little amused. Ino, you take care of Hinata, I'm going. Naruto turned and walked towards Sasuke and the others, let's go get some game. Ino watched Naruto and the Sasuke's leave, so she turned her head to look at Shikamaru and glared at him, making Shikamaru feel very uncomfortable. Shikamaru, can you please stop being so lazy? Go pick up some firewood. You are also Choji, don't be lazy. Ino began to give orders. Women are the most troublesome. I'll go. Fortunately, Naruto didn't see this scene, otherwise he would definitely say, only villains and girls are hard to raise. Just as several people were busy, a girl suddenly appeared. She was wearing pink clothes, with two bun-style hairstyles on her head, and she was tall and slender. I found you guys. Excuse me, are Ningxi and Rock Lee here? It was Tenten who said yes. She had originally planned to treat Rock Lee and Ningxi to a meal, but she didn't expect to get the news that they were called here. It took her a while to find them. Oh. It's Tenten. Let's have a meal together. Niji and the others are here too. Tenten's ninja tool shop is very famous in Konoha, even Ino has been there, so she knows Tenten. When Tenten heard Ino say that, she was stunned for a moment, and then she agreed to come down. They were going to have a meal together anyway, so it didn't matter where they were. Naruto was still having a leisurely dinner at this moment, unaware of how big a storm he had caused. At this moment, in a hidden place, Obito was looking at the information collected by Zetsu, all of which were about Umbrella. At the same time, he was holding a book in his hand, which was the Red Thought. This was stolen by Zetsu. At this moment, Obito's gloomy voice came out from the mask, If Konoha could do this, I would wash my hair upside down. With his understanding of Konoha, Danzo, and the hypocritical will of fire. Konoha could never write such a book. Therefore, the Umbrella organization could not be Konoha's white glove. Even Obito was greatly shocked by the Book of Red Thought, but at this moment he had already fallen into an extreme state, and he only believed that he was right. Only the Moon Eye Project can save the ninja world. Chapter 99. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Obito's opinion, the Red Thought is a book written by a fool who fantasizes that he can save the ninja world peacefully. Such peace is impossible. Only the eye of the moon is eternal. I want to create a world with Rin. Obito murmured, who knows whether Obito simply wants to create a perfect world, or just simply wants to create a world with Rin and who loves her deeply. The Land of Rain. Conan looked at the skinny man in front of her with distress as he flipped through the book on his lap. This book was also about red ideology. Although Nagato had taken the wrong path, Conan was the only one left. No matter what he did, Conan was willing to accompany him, even if this path was wrong. Nagato slowly closed the book in his hand and said, Conan, maybe we really took the wrong path. This book is right. A revolutionary path must have a correct guideline. If we had realized it earlier, perhaps we wouldn't be here today. However, peace without pain is short-lived. They will forget the fear of war and the pain. The 5 major countries must feel the pain, then they will know the value of peace. Nagato's voice changed, and his terrifying eyes revealed a terrifying momentum. Although the red thought is very good, in Nagato's eyes now, it may be better than Yahiko's peace policy in the past. The death of his best friend has transformed him and changed his psychology. It also made him, like Obito, determined that he was right. Conan slowly picked up the book from Nagato's legs and started to read it. The content of the book was very real, thorough, and passionate. He has a unique understanding of the development, thinking, and growth of the ninja world. Unlike Nagato, Conan thinks this may be. Maybe this is the real path to peace. Struggles come from uneven distribution of resources, from the greed of ambitious people, resource allocation, the creativity of ninjutsu, and science is the primary productive force. These concepts are refreshing to Xiaonan. She can't help but feel deeply curious about the writer of this book. How many years of research on the ninja world can make such a profound analysis of the current ninja world, and such an understanding of human nature? In Xiaonan's heart, an old man with a white beard has already jumped into his heart. Only those who have experienced thousands of sales and tasted all the hardships of life can write such a book of ideas. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi and Kisame have come to the Land of Waves. Although it has been confirmed that the Land of Waves is not the headquarters of the Umbrella organization, there must be the power of the Umbrella here. Uchiha Itachi and Kisame walked on the street, children were playing on the street, and the old man also had a smile on his face. It made Uchiha Itachi's eyes light up. He hadn't seen such a scene for a long time. Suddenly, a man in a room slowly retreated, and Kisame's eyes moved. Itachi signaled not to act rashly. The man just now was a villager in the village. The arrival of 2 strangers, Itachi and Kisame, naturally attracted the attention of these people, all the members of the Umbrella in the Land of Waves now. It's just that there is an extra layer of identity, and there is actually no change. It's just that some people who are eager to get closer to the first level and become peripheral members of the Umbrella have their eyes on these 2 people. If the news of these 2 people is reported to the Umbrella organization, they will surely get a lot of points. Itachi naturally discovered the actions of this ordinary person, but now he is not moving, waiting for the help he found. At this moment, Quan, Zabuza, and you, who have received the news, are waiting here. After waiting for so long, someone finally came. A gleam of hatred appeared in Quan's eyes. Her grandmother also died that night. Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Yu and Zabuza beside Quan looked at each other, revealing deep helplessness. Quan's momentum was too terrifying. And Quan was very young. Back then, Zabuza was also called a genius. Fortunately for him, he is now wandering outside the door of the Kage level. Within 3 years, he is sure to step into the Kage level, even if it is only the weakest Kage level. But that is also a Kage level powerhouse. Modified version of Chakra refining technique, martial arts, and high-level ninjutsu. With such abundant resources, if he still can't step into the Kage level and become a Kage level powerhouse, then his title of genius would be in vain. He is the demon Zabuza. The 3 of them came directly to an open space and began to burst out chakra without concealing their position at all. The purpose is to lure Uchiha Itachi to come and prevent fighting in the town from hurting civilians. Oh. 3 people. Isn't this a bit too much to underestimate us? Kisame's words came, and the other side did not hide the burst of momentum at all. From the momentum, it can be seen that there is a strong man of the same level. Although the other 2 are powerful, Kisame really doesn't take them seriously. Let's go, Uchiha Itachi said indifferently, and walked forward slowly. I don't know why I feel that the momentum just now is inexplicably familiar. Soon, the 2 of them jumped quickly in the woods and disappeared. Here it comes. Quan opened her eyes, her eyelashes trembling slightly, showing that she was not calm inside. She didn't know what it felt like to face Uchiha Itachi again. And Uchiha Yu was looking forward to it. That brat. He must pay the price for what he did. As the instructor of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Yu naturally admired Uchiha Itachi and believed that he could lead the Uchiha clan to the top. Uchiha Itachi's talent is needless to say. He is even better than an adult at such a young age. But, hey, just like what Lord Naruto said, being overly mature may not be a good thing. According to what Itachi did, Itachi was indeed indoctrinated by the third generation of thieves. Who else would kill his entire family and clan? The thought is absolutely abnormal. According to Lord Naruto, the psychological education of the next generation must be strengthened. Although ninjas can become powerful quickly, entering this profession too early will make children. The three perspectives that are being formed are impacted. Even the spirit changes drastically. In the words of Lord Naruto, this is a disease and must be cured. Lord Naruto said that most of the Uchiha family who opened the Sharingan are sick. He didn't believe it at first, but after a series of tests, he found that the remaining guys in the Uchiha family seemed to have some problems. Why didn't anyone notice it before? Two figures approached quickly. Finally, they slowly stopped beside them. Itachi's calm expression was broken when he saw them. He made a seal to release the illusion without leaving a trace. But there seemed to be no change at all. His heart suddenly trembled. He tried to remove the illusion again. Don't waste your energy. Everything you saw is true. Come over here and apologize to your uncle Yu. Oh no. I am not worthy of being called uncle by you, you traitor of Uchiha. You spirited young man, that you said angrily. Anger gradually emerged from his heart. The three Magatama Sharingan trembled slowly. But there was no change. Uchiha Itachi ignored this former uncle, but looked at Uchiha Izumi. His body trembled a little, and he felt fear, shame, and happiness in his heart. Mixed feelings. At the same time, he felt deeply shocked. Chapter 100. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Uchiha Itachi's calm heart couldn't help but tremble. Two pairs of red Sharingan stared at each other. Long time no see. Itachi. Izumi's voice was cold, without any emotion, and her whole body exuded a temperament of keeping strangers away. It was difficult for Itachi to associate with the cute girl who used to stick to him. It seemed that the incident really hit her hard, combined with what Kakuzu said about the Mangekyo. He also understood. Others might not know, but he couldn't not know that the girl in front of him could be called a genius in the entire Uchiha. She opened the three Magatama at a young age, and opened it without any difficulty, without experiencing the separation of life and death. If she hadn't received too little training and resources, she might be a genius who was not inferior to him. Well, long time no see. Although I don't know why Quan is here, any explanation is pale now. Itachi. Why are you doing this? Why? Quan suddenly became excited, and even Yu's emotions became excited. The genocide was wiped out overnight, and the blood feud was deep. The huge Uchiha became history overnight. If Naruto hadn't saved them, perhaps the Uchiha bloodline would have been cut off in the ninja world. Just like the many bloodline families in the Hidden Mist village. Become a thing of the past. Just like the Uzumaki clan in the past, now no young people in the ninja world know about the Uzumaki clan. Of course Itachi knew what Quan was talking about at this moment, the night of the genocide. Quan. You don't understand. Itachi shook his head slowly and said to Quan, looking at the once familiar face. Quan was now gnashing with hatred. He smiled sadly. Yeah. I don't understand, I really don't understand why you would do such a thing. Have you considered your clan members? Have you asked them if they are willing to end their lives? Everyone has his or her own life. You are not qualified to decide other people's lives. Itachi was speechless for a moment when he heard what Quan said. After a long while, he managed to say, "They are all ignorant and have no idea what they are doing and what consequences it will lead to." Oh. When you say they, do you mean those clan members who disrespect you? Have you ever thought about the reason for their disrespect for you? As the son of the clan leader, he didn't even attend the clan meetings, but hung around the so-called Konoha high-ranking officials, and finally raised the butcher knife to the clan members. I don't care about these. After all, although I am a member of the Uchiha clan, I don't receive much care from the clan. But what about my grandma? She is just an ordinary person. Do you still remember Uncle Ie? Do you still know Uncle Sanjian? Do you still remember the lady who sells meatballs? They are all ordinary people. Why can't we let them go? Quan made a hysterical sound, and tears instantly flowed down his cheeks. A pair of eyes had turned into a Mangekyo Sharingan at some point. What Quan said was like a memory imprinted in Itachi's mind, and his heart began to ache. But even so, he felt that everything he did was right. A worldview formed over a long period of time. It is impossible to change easily. People who can bear the pain of genocide, how can Quan's words easily shake them? The moment he saw Quan's Mangekyo display, he secretly thought it was not good. The next moment, the world began to spin. This is an illusion. Itachi's eyes began to spin wildly. A large windmill-shaped Mangekyo appeared. The two immediately started a battle of illusions. Kisame in the outside world looked at the two of them. "Oh, have you started? We still have to fight after all." That he casually took off the big sword Samahata on his back, and the dark red windbreaker with fire cloud pattern swayed slightly in the breeze. You also pulled out the katana behind him. "Long time no see, Kisame." Zabuza's voice came, and Zabuza threw away the gray robe on his body, revealing his true appearance. "Oh. It's Zabuza. I didn't expect you to join this organization," Kisame said in a slightly surprised voice. Zabuza then drew out his beheading sword and said, "Isn't it the same for you?" Seeing Zabuza looking at his clothes, Kisame also opened his terrifying shark mouth. "Same here. Your opponent is us." You pulled out the katana in his hand, held it with both hands, flew out directly, and slashed at Kisame quickly. Kisame drew his sword to block it, and the whole person jumped back. Standing on a branch far away, Zabuza appeared directly behind Kisame. Kisame glanced at him, and slashed with Samahata in his hand. Suddenly, the two swords collided violently, and the two men kept waving their swords, colliding with a strong momentum. Boom! The tree where Kisame stood collapsed instantly. The two fell to the ground, just looking at each other quietly. "Fire style, great dragon fire technique," a voice suddenly sounded behind Kisame. A huge fire dragon swept over and smashed towards Kisame with fierce power. "Water style, water." Kisame originally wanted to use the water array wall to block the attack, but Zabuza actually used his water clone to slash at him. He was really decisive. He turned over and rolled sideways. The fire dragon swept over the place where Kisame had just stood. Zabuza's water clone was directly annihilated. Smoke rose up. "It's been a long time since we last met. Zabuza, you've become much stronger," Kisame said with contempt. In fact, he was also very surprised by Zabuza's strength. Zabuza's strength has increased tremendously. According to the original work, Zabuza's strength is several times stronger than it was back then. "Then let me measure your weight." Kisame carried Samahata on his back again and began to make seals with his hands. Water style, water shark bullet technique. Several huge sharks appeared, translucent, with extremely powerful chakra. At this moment, they were flying in the air, and flying towards the two people at a very fast speed. Fire style, fire dragon flame bullet. You quickly formed a seal, and the powerful fire style hit Kisame's shark, but it only caused slight damage. Don't underestimate Kisame. Kisame is a man known as the tailless tailed beast, with super terrifying chakra. He can be called a human-shaped tailed beast. Zabuza said quickly. You nodded, no longer relaxed. The enemy opposite is worth their serious preparation. It can be seen from the attack just now. Do you think that's the end of it? Water style, flood wave. A huge stream of water spewed out from Kisame's mouth. Water style, great Samadan Jutsu. With the use of Kisame's ninjutsu, the surrounding battlefield was changed in an instant. Even Zabuza was secretly shocked. Kisame's strength has not stopped. Wind style, whirlwind slash. Zabuza swung the sword in his hand, and an arc-shaped wind blade was formed, which directly cut the shark of Kisame. I don't have the wind attribute. You waved his hands helplessly. His initial attributes were fire and earth, and now he has also cultivated the thunder attribute. The water attribute has been cultivated halfway. Earth style, earth flow wall. A square pillar rose up, allowing him to avoid the attack of the water shark bullet, while using the high field of vision to find the trace of Kisame. The surrounding environment has been changed by Kisame, and he is really willing to spend chakra. This chakra is enough to release an S-level ninjutsu.